How's it going, everybody? Spider Flame. We are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the fixture changes that have immediate impact on Game Week 26, as well as future game weeks for the rest of the month of March. These were the fixtures that we were pretty much expecting to come out before the Game Week 25 deadline. They literally released them 1 minute after the fact, but we pretty much, if you followed the stream as well, pretty much guessed exactly what was going to happen. The only thing that was a bit up in the air was whether or not West Brom and Sheffield United were going to get a double, which they ended up doing as well. But if you follow Ben Krellin on Twitter, you would have seen that this was one of the possibilities, one of the more likely possibilities. The main kind of thing was whether Southampton was going to get a triple-double. Seems a bit unlikely. It would have pretty much knackered the players. Or it would have been Fulham that would have got the double versus Spurs, which they ended up getting in the end. If you are enjoying the videos, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can get more news like this when I retweet it. Over on Twitter, I've been a bit more active on there, as well as give us a follow over on Twitch, where we will be doing our next game week stream, the game week preview for Double Game Week 26, and we'll also be doing a deadline stream 1 hour before the deadline, as we normally do on the Saturday. So without further ado, let's see what fixtures have been put in for the month of March. So this is the article here on Fantasy Football Scout's website. I will leave a link in the description below, which kind of breaks it down pretty straightforward on what fixtures are being announced in what game weeks. So let's take a look here. So these are all the double game week fixtures. So Manchester City versus West Ham, West Brom versus Brighton, Leeds versus Aston Villa, Newcastle versus Wolves, Crystal Palace versus Fulham, Leicester versus Arsenal, Spurs versus Burnley, Chelsea Man United, Sheffield United versus Liverpool, Everton versus Southampton, Burnley, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Man United, Fulham, Spurs, Man City, Wolves, Sheffield United, and Aston Villa, and lastly, West Brom and Everton. But to break it down even easier, they've even put it here, which teams will be playing twice in the game week, which you can see here. So Aston Villa, 2 very good fixtures. We kind of expected that they would have at least 1 decent fixture in the double game week. Leeds away, Sheffield United away should be 2 pretty good, comfortable victories for them, I would think. Burnley, bit trickier. You know, after West Brom, they kept a clean sheet today in their 0-0 draw. Mind you, they didn't show any attacking threat. Mind you, Burnley's not really the attacking team, but they did keep a clean sheet versus West Brom, although they were down 10 men, which made it easier. But against Spurs and Leicester, they might find it a bit trickier, so maybe not the best double there. Same with Chelsea. Man United at home, Liverpool away may struggle a bit. They might get 3 points versus Liverpool, who have been in terrible form recently. Crystal Palace versus Fulham, both games at home, which typically doesn't favor Palace, and they don't have Wilfried Zaha for these games most likely, so he's still going to be out, so that's a big, drawback for them. I think there was a stat going around now, I'm not sure how true this is, but Crystal Palace haven't scored a goal when Zaha is out of the team, like not playing at all, which is interesting. So yeah. Everton, Southampton home, West Brom away. Dominic Calvert-Lewin came off the bench and got an assist for getting taken down for the penalty in their 2-0 win versus Liverpool. So one to keep an eye on there as well. Fulham play Crystal Palace away, Spurs at home, so maybe a clean sheet versus Crystal Palace there, and maybe some, whatever you can get in the Spurs game. Leicester versus Arsenal at home, and Burnley away, 2 very good fixtures in terms of a defensive standpoint. 2 teams don't really score too much. And they should be quite comfortable in those games. Leicester are doing quite well. Liverpool versus Sheffield United and Chelsea, 2 teams that could potentially cause problems for them, so might be interesting to see how they do in those, but I don't have confidence in Liverpool at all, hence why Salah was not in any of my drafts for the wild card that I had. And then we also have Man City, who have West Ham and Wolves at home. Should be pretty straightforward there. Again, triple city is kind of a mandatory in this case. Man United, Chelsea away, and Crystal Palace away. A lot of people going for Luke Shaw or Wan-Bissaka or something like that on their wildcards for a Man United defender. Could potentially be a clean sheet versus Palace, almost certainly. And then Chelsea, see what you can get from there, although they held a 0-0 last time they played them. But different manager, could be different scenario there. Sheffield United, don't really think anyone's going for them. Spurs, This is where a lot of people are looking to put their eggs all in one basket, in a sense. Maybe a triple captaincy option for Harry Kane or Heung-min Son. Burnley at home, Fulham away should be two great fixtures for them. West Brom, Brighton at home, Everton at home could be a bit on the trickier side. Both teams are pretty good offensively, but maybe you can get some value out of there. Maybe Ainsley, Maitland-Niles at 4.5 million. And then Wolves, Newcastle away, Man City away. The Newcastle fixture should be quite easy for them. Man City one's a bit trickier. So the teams that I'm looking at targeting, and what I did on my wild card was a triple Aston Villa. I also was looking at Leicester, so the likes of Jamie Vardy, Maddison, Barnes, even Ricardo Pereira. I even consider Kasper Schmeichel as well. Man City, obvious, Gundogan, Diaz or Cancelo, and then maybe one other, whether it's a defender, Ederson, or even De Bruyne, who's just come back as well. Man United, Fernandes will probably still be a good pick there. Spurs, Kane and Son, pretty straightforward there. Wolves, maybe Pedro Neto is probably someone as an outside shout. And then Fulham for a double game week goalkeeper you're bench boosting like myself. Areola, someone who's also got a clean sheet versus Sheffield United. Today should be someone that people should be looking at as well. In terms of the double game week 27 fixtures. So these are all the games being played again. The only one that's being added, so these are the ones that are already existing in 27. The one that's being added is Man City versus Southampton. So the two teams that double in this week are Man City and Southampton. Man City play both Southampton and Man United at home, and Southampton play Sheffield United and Man City away. So if you want to hang on to, if you're not on a bench boost team for 26 and you want to hang on to Danny Ings for that double as well, you can just put him on your bench and then play him in 27 and then, choose to get rid of him after that or keep him for the foreseeable future. So bit of a smaller double game week there, but again, triple city is basically what I'm looking at here. Should be at least 4 points, probably a clean sheet, maybe 2 clean sheets if City play really well versus Man United and Southampton there as well. And then the blank game week 29 fixture. So this was basically because of the FA Cup quarterfinal games. These are games that are going to have to be postponed and are being moved into double game week 26. That's basically what they do. So anyone who is going to be playing an FA Cup game, so as an example, Leicester, United, these teams will all have doubles in 26, as we've seen the fixtures. And it's typically those fixtures that they would play. So Manchester United, for example, was supposed to play Crystal Palace. That fixture is moved to 26. Just makes the most sense. So in game week 29, when those teams are playing FA Cup fixtures, there's only a few teams that are going to be playing. And the 4 fixtures are Brighton Hove Albion versus Newcastle, Fulham versus Leeds, West Ham versus Arsenal, and Aston Villa versus Spurs, which was a game that was postponed previously due to the COVID-19 outbreak that Aston Villa had within their ranks. So those are only going to be the only 4 fixtures in game week 19. So either you can use your free hit here and kind of load up on Spurs, maybe some Arsenal, maybe some Leeds, maybe some Brighton players, and then go from there. Maybe you don't want those players longer term. You can definitely do that. And I think the 4 fixtures allow for, some pretty decent teams. Money's not really going to be an object. There's not really, a lot of expensive players, among these teams. Even if you go, Aubameyang, Kane, Son, there's no one really else that's going to be that expensive rather. The next most expensive player, I believe, is Grealish, who's like 7.7 million. So it is what it is in that. I'm planning on using my free hit there, depending on how many players I have going into it. But yeah, those are the fixture announcements, and we could potentially also see smaller doubles further down the line. So if you're someone like myself who's bench boosting in game week 26, and you're like, well, where do I use my free, my other chip, my triple captaincy? You can use it in game week. It's one of the game week 30 game weeks where there will be smaller double game weeks for the teams that get to the semifinal of the FA Cup. So that teams could be like Man City, could be Man United, could be Leicester. We'll have to see. So teams that make it into the semis will most likely have a blank in one week and then a double in another week. But it depends on who makes it through. So we'll have to monitor that situation. However, the other good spot for the triple captaincy chip is obviously game week 26. These fixtures for Spurs look quite nice, even for Man City as well. Gundogan is someone who's been doing very, very well for Pep Guardiola and Man City and for FPL owners across the world. And I think that he should be back for these double game weeks. He might start on the bench versus Arsenal in tomorrow's fixture, and then maybe get a little bit of minutes against Mönchengladbach, but then might be thrown straight back in, and so that they can get the Premier League pretty much sewn away and done. They want to get enough of a buffer to where they can focus their, kind of their situation on Europe, because that's what they want to get for Man City's case, which would mean that maybe, there's a rest potentially coming for these big name players in the league if they get enough of a gap, which could make it easier for us to pick lineups going forward. But with Pep, you never know in that scenario. So it is a bit of a risk, and maybe they only play one out of the two fixtures, whereas Kane, if he's fit, he's going to play 90 minutes both games, assuming he's ready. Same with Heung-min Son and these sorts of. Jamie Vardy is another one, almost certainly, especially when they need to, pick up some points or playing against tougher opposition, where it would be a little bit more difficult to break them down if they didn't have a full strength team. But yeah, that's going to do it for the fixtures. Hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, make sure to check out Fantasy Football Scout as well. This is not a sponsored video. I just really like their site, really like their members area, and they kind of break it down quite easily. And like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for the article below. And that's going to do it for the Double Game Week 26 and March fixture update. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like on it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And make sure to drop us a follow over on Twitter so you can keep up to date with all video updates as well as different posts that we put out on Twitter. And give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can see when we go live for our preview and deadline streams. Our next one will be on Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST over on Twitch. That will be for the Double Game Week 26 preview live stream show. The time zone, or exact time zone, will be in the description, or in a pinned comment rather, down below. That's where I usually put it, as well as for the deadline stream, which we will be doing one as per normal for Double Game Week 26, 1 hour before the deadline on Saturday. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.